that you guys have today, and we appreciate the fact that you guys took some time of your busy schedule to be here this morning. Les agradecemos que estén aquí este día, esta mañana. I like the Dallas, it's flipped, like I was like, is it me? Is it your hat? But no, it's your hat. Pero le damos las gracias. Vamos a dar inicio a esto. Es un tema español o inglés. Well, it's up to you guys because he's the one that's going to be presenting, not me. So just for me, the intro real quick. So welcome once again to Bridge Connect. Welcome to the beautiful city of Pharr. Just real quick recap. We'll be discussing e-produce, the produce accounting one-on-one. I'm not the expert on that, but he's the expert. I'm the expert in making my counts. I have $10, I owe five. Well, I keep five. That's it. But then the exit where you guys walked in, las salidas de emergencia por donde ustedes entraron, el WC, the restroom is all the way to the back, to the right-hand side, to your right-hand side. There's another exit right here in that entrance. Clio, ¿ahí dónde está Clio? Voltean ahí, salieron a Clio. Clio les puso el café y pan ahí junto con a Vanessa y a la otra señorita que está aquí, Cintia. Pero esas son las salidas de emergencias. No les quitamos más minutos porque esto ya nos demoramos en dar inicio, pero le damos la bienvenida una vez más. And we would like to welcome eProduce. eProduce and Mr. Herman Trevino. He's an accountant, and he will take the lead on this. Okay? Thank you.
Good morning still. A few people know me here because I do work for some Santi's Produce. I can do it in English or Spanish or both, whatever you like. I'm going to start off in English and then if you have any questions, I can answer stuff in Spanish. I'm the founder of CEO of eProduce. I am a cost accountant and I'm also a software developer. Okay. I've been in the produce industry for over 25 years, mostly working in accounting. I've never actually had a produce company where I buy product like you guys and sell it, but I've always worked for companies like you guys. And I found a way to come up with software that's a lot easier on the cloud, more affordable. I mean, there's some really good stuff out there, but it's expensive. And when you have a smaller medium-sized operation, you don't need, all those bells and whistles to be able to do your work. So I'm going to show you some of the items that we have, today in today's market. We're going to go over the history of produce accounting software. We're going to look at QuickBooks because QuickBooks is, a lot of people say that QuickBooks it's not really for the produce industry. It is if you combine it with an external database and you integrate it. Because QuickBooks is real easy to do accounting for your financials. Reconcile your banks, payables, receivables, admin expenses, easy. The hard part in produce accounting is the buying and selling of product and to keep up with the gross profit, right? Liquidations for growers. QuickBooks doesn't calculate, but QuickBooks can do your accounting for as long as it integrates and we avoid all that double entry. We're going to go over some produce related transactions that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. So the ones that are not, I'm also going to do a presentation for the summit next week. That's very similar, but it's not going to have the produce related transactions. But accounting is accounting, guys, and the end game is to have financial statements and look at your statement of net worth, la posición financiera, right? And el capital contable, your equity, that's your measure. That should go up every day. Okay. If not, we can find it in the income statement. And usually you'll find it in the gross profit section if you're winning or losing. That's why I focus. I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not a CPA. Could have been. Don't ever want to go into taxes. I specialize in cost accounting and gross profit. That's where the money's at. Okay. ¿Ahí ganas o pierdes? Okay. Y vamos a ver también financieros. We're going to look at some of the financial reports and also some of the profitability reports that you need to be able to measure, okay, by customer, by lot, by invoice. So that's why it's important to do, external databases besides QuickBooks, because we can measure based on true cost, costos reales, no promedios, como QuickBooks. QuickBooks tiene FIFO o tiene average costing. Tienes 2 o 3 productores con el mismo producto y estás vendiendo a la misma vez. Cada productor quiere, oye, espérame, a mí liquídame lo mío. No me involucres con otros productores. Entonces, por eso se hacen estos programas para hacer liquidaciones a costo real. Okay. So back then, when I started, I'll tell you my age. I'm 60 years old now, so it tells you I've been around. But we start off with manual ledgers and just regular spreadsheets on sheets. Uh, In comes Microsoft with Excel spreadsheets. All right, we can do that easier. QuickBooks Desktop with another accounting software with Excel, right? But you would have to, double entry the stuff. Excel calculates, QuickBooks does the accounting, right? Just like we're doing it now. Um, then you came in with produce specific software, the ERPs like Famous, like Produce Pro, and all those kind of guys. Yeah, a little expensive, can be complicated. It's not as easy to get financial statements like you can in QuickBooks because that's more of a, it's kind of like desktop. It's not cloud-based. It's old technology. They do batch accounting, so once you close something, you're done. You can't go back to it. And I go in accounting. Sometimes you want those kind of controls, but for a small and medium-sized company, you want to go back and be able to edit. In produce accounting, there's a lot of you know trouble files, ajustes, descuentos que hay que hacer. So your system has to be able to be flexible enough for you to be able to do that. Especially if you're doing the accounting or family members are doing the accounting, not others, then you can trust that. Why not? Okay. QuickBooks Online integration with custom online apps is where we're at today. Okay, everything's going to the cloud. Um, the majority of people who do business use QuickBooks Online. Some are still with desktop. I recommend go to online because of all the new stuff out there, all the apps that it integrates with, not just my app itself that I built, but a lot of other stuff that you can migrate and share. CRMs, for example, with QuickBooks. The idea is to have everything integrated because an ERP, all it is just a bunch of modules that are connected together, that are integrated. Well, I build a database, I'll integrate it to QuickBooks, and I have an ERP, and very inexpensive, right? At the end of the day, it's about getting financial statements. That's where we're headed. Okay. I'm going to go with QuickBooks. I'm just giving you an overview right now, but I'm going to dig in deep into transactions and all that. Look at chart of accounts to make sure that it's fit for the produce industry. Easy to read and understand. It doesn't have to be a standard chart of accounts. No, create it for your purposes so you can understand it. And when you see the income statement, financial consultants like you in back, you want to be able to see it obvious where at. You don't have to be asking questions on those chart of accounts. Set them up to where you can easily make decisions on them. And also, vendors and customers, make sure all the information's in there. Take the time to enter, everything with capital letter first and then lowercase, not all, everything on uppercase. Take the time, make sure all the addresses, phone numbers, because customers see that. The professionalism really, people really look at that. Believe me, I've been around the block and a lot of people really, really care about that. Your products and services, make sure they're tied in correctly to the right chart of accounts. Um, let's see here, admin expenses too. Admins are easy. You're really going to spend those whether you sell or not. It's the gross profit section that we're going to focus on today. Obviously, we talk about importance of integrating with QuickBooks Online, avoid double entry, also avoid some errors. And then the financial reporting, which is what the bottom line is. But make sure that we have a routine for your employees and look at them. By the 25th of the month, you should know how well or bad you're going to be doing for that month. Don't wait for the next month or April 15th for the previous year. Not even close. Okay. Because we have internet banking now, you can do your reconciliations every day or every other day. So that means you can have current financials all the time. Plus or minus a couple of things, some vendors that don't bill you on time. You've seen some of those guys from freight or customs that take a while. But if you talk to them well and tell them, hey man, I'm really up with my financials. Please send me as soon as you service it, send me the invoice because I have to allocate it correctly. Okay. Produce related transactions. Obviously, there's really three in produce, and I'm really going to focus on the gross profit section. And there's really only three. One is the vendor purchasing, which for the products. Number two is for the shipping and handling costs, and los insumos, anything to do with the customs, in and out, freight in, freight out. And then, of course, the invoice. And the invoices, you do sales orders before, and then you decide to fill out the order. But those three right there is really all you have to do to control your gross profit. And you'll see some of the reports we're going to generate. Um, know your purchase arrangements. Obviously in liquidations, are you buying by purchase price? Is it percentage of sales? Is it on FOB, not on delivery price? There's a difference. Growers don't want you to make the commission on the delivery price. So we have to do things to allocate that, the freight to the invoice instead of the bill. So I'll show an example of that. You can also do rate per unit, and then there's others, and our software and a lot of the stuff that we do, we can customize it to whatever you want. Just write an algorithm and you're in. Again, sync into QuickBooks, and then some accounting. It doesn't hurt to understand more accounting, because you got to do some month-end adjustments, inventory adjustments, obviously, certain journal entries that you have to do, but simple journal entries, nothing major. Okay, reporting. Obviously, that's where we're leading to. That's how us as developers write software. We start off with the reports and we go backwards, right? What do we need to do? How do we write the program so we can get these reports systematically? No, obviously, not to know you have to know your financial position and your performance, right? How much you're worth today, how much you're worth tomorrow, so on and so forth. Banks, when you borrow money, they look at debt schedules or debt service ratios. Typically, they want you to make $1.50 a profit for every dollar of notes payable. So, for example, if you're note payable, you borrow money and you're paying your note payable is $10,000 a month with principal and interest. They want you to make $15,000, right? $1.50 to one. If you have current financials, you maintain current financials, you're able to see that and prove that to your bank. Banks want to know how you're going to get them paid. So that's one of the ratios that you look at. And that's what we try to do by having current financials, but monthly financials, por mes, para que vean o sea, el poder de poder de servicio de las notas. Your five must-have financial reports. Obviously, your balance sheet, which is your statement of net worth. All that is you got $10 in your pocket, you owe somebody seven, you're worth $3. Okay, the only reason they call it a balance sheet is because they put the line right in the middle. 10 equals 10. You have 10, it's the same thing as what you owe plus what you're worth. No, I don't like to explain it that way. Assets equals liability plus own equity. No, everybody understands that. What you have, that's what you owe, and what you're worth. If you explain it that way and you see it like that, you'll understand your finances a lot better. Okay, income statement, accounts receivable, accounts payable, aging, obviously for collections, and your physical inventory valuations. Those are the five. Of course, you can get into fixed assets later, you can get into debt schedules, but for now, as an introduction, those five will really get you to the point that you need to know where you're at. And then we look at the six must-have profitability reports, these right here. And I came up with Eclipse, okay? And Eclipse is an acronym for profit and loss by customer, by lot, by invoice, by product, by supplier, and by salesman. That's really all you need to measure, in the produce industry. I mean, there's other more detailed stuff, but for the most part, for wholesaler brokers, that's really all you need, so you can find out how to make changes in prices, who to deal with, who not to deal with, so on and so forth. Understanding and explaining the financial statements, so you can talk to banks, you talk to accountants, you get ready for tax season, you understand all that information. And of course, periodic reporting. Okay, so let's just dive in real quick into QuickBooks. Start off there. I'm sure it's out here. What software? Let me ask you guys. What software do you all use now? I know you guys use QuickBooks Desktop. Moving into QuickBooks Online or desktop? Online. Okay. Anybody else? Somebody use any software? I mean, I'm sure your company uses other stuff here, so that's fine. A lot of people use this. This is what I recommend. There's different tiers of QuickBooks Online, but again, is the premium is all you need. And I like it for $80. You get 5 users. Incredible, man. You can't beat that. Let me go to the produce demo. I have all my customers in here, if you notice. So, and I have a demo customer here, a demo set of books here that integrates with our program. Produce already. So yeah, let's go to reports. If you're not familiar with QuickBooks, again, it's menu driven. If you know how to use Word, Excel, QuickBooks is so easy to use. Okay, here are the 5 reports. You put them on your favorites: your balance sheet, profit and loss, age receivables, age payables, and of course your inventory valuation. The first thing we're going to start off with your balance sheet. That's your statement of net worth. That's probably to me the most important of all. Lo que vale uno, ¿no? And if you notice here on this one here, I have assets, and assets that lo que tiene uno, well, what you have in the form of banks and in the form of receivables and the form of inventory. I don't have fixed assets, but this is what you have. So you have 278,000. Underneath that is your liabilities, and that's what you owe, es lo que debe uno, ¿no? Y aquí, pues cuentas por pagar or notes payable, payroll, taxes payable, all those are payables. And the difference is what you're worth, right? Your equity. Equity, another word for equity is net worth. All right. So what I said earlier, you've got $10 in your pocket, assets, you owe 7, you're worth 3. Simple as that. Okay. To look at the detail of everything here, your banks, well, you have internet banking, right? You can look at your banks and reconcile them every day. Why not? So you know that your bank's always going to be good. Make sure that your balance sheet is always balanced. Make sure that your bank's always reconciled. Make sure that your receivable is correct all the time for your customers and your payables too. If you can, and your inventory. If you can, those 4 right there, if you can do that, the rest is easy to classify into the income statement. I'll show you. Okay. So for example, 73, I just have to look at my bank and make sure that's correct. I have it. Let's look at accounts receivable, 204,000. Well, QuickBooks has told you about, and the good thing about QuickBooks is it's internet. So right click, duplicate, so I don't have to lose my space over here for the balance sheet. And I go back to reports. And I'm going to go to my age receivable to make sure that let me see, I must make sure that I have the right month here. Yeah, let's do this year to date. This year to date, right there. Okay. So we're in report. Sheet. Like that. Okay. You see my bank's 97, my receivables 266. Let's make sure of that. There it is, 266. And you see what's current, what's 1 through 30. That's why you want the detail AR aging, obviously. So the next one, we look at inventory. Okay, what do I have in inventory? Well, I have 0 in inventory. Well, let's go make sure that that's correct. I'll duplicate this too. And I can go back to my reports. And my favorite's my inventory valuation. And we talk about avocados or any products. You see how I label them? So it's really easy to understand. So your customers, whether you're buying or selling, it's easily understandable. So there's no mistake. Sometimes you make mistakes by putting the wrong description, and that can cost you $1 or $2. It can really be a lot of money. Okay, you see how everything is 0, asset valuation, everything is 0. I have quite a few items in here, so I can show the demo. Okay, so we know that's correct. All right, what's next on my balance sheet? Accounts payable. You're not going to have in a perfect world, this is what balance sheets should look like. But when you're doing your business every day, it's not complicated. You just make sure you post things correctly and you put the name of the account correctly so you understand it. Okay? Los contadores públicos es para los impuestos. Financieros es para nosotros correr los negocios. We want our financials to look great so we can run our company. Okay, CPA wants to do a tax return, no problem. I'll have it for you, but I need accurate, understandable financials so I can run the business because I have money to make, right? So that's what we focus on really good financials. All right, accounts payable 314,000, no problem. Let's go take a look at our accounts payable aging and go back to reports. And here we are on accounts payable aging. And that one I was 314. So yeah, that's the detail on it. So, and then of course the difference is what we're worth. Obviously, what you have is what you owe is what you're worth. You see this net income, right? The equity section, okay, is broken down into open balance equities like your initial investment. You put in $100 to open a bank account, that's your open balance equity. Retained earnings is all your previous year revenues, los ingresos, utilidades de los años anteriores. That's what retained earnings are. Net income is the net income from the current year. Okay, de este año son 40,000, 49. Okay, let's go take a look at the income statement to make sure that's correct. Again, duplicate this. I'm going to go back to reports and go back to the profit and loss. Profit and loss, this one here, let's go to this fiscal year to date. Okay, and also make sure that here on the compare another period, make sure it's always percentage of income. You know, you run your companies with percentages, always con márgenes, ¿verdad? Se depositan centavos, pero you always measure your company in percentages. It's a good way to do it. Um, it can be misleading because you can have somebody who is making you more margin, but is giving you more dollars. You deposit dollars, you don't deposit percentages. So there are different ways to look at it. And I'll show you those reports in a minute. Okay, when you do that and you run report, and there it is. Look at my income statement. When I have my sales, look at my sales itself. I have sales produce. You see the customer delivery charge? That's a $200 amount that it took me to deliver the product. So really, this is my delivered price. This is my FOB price. Okay? You want that to show because in your liquidations, that's how it's going to come out. So why not reflect the same thing in QuickBooks in your financial statements? Okay? Everything comes here. This is where everything settles, right? We do the operations in databases that I'll show you in a minute, but everything has to come in here and it's got to be tied in together correctly so it automatically posts correctly for you guys. QuickBooks teaches you accounting, okay? If you set it up right the first time. Don't wait for 6 months, try to do it yourself or no. Get somebody to help you set it up correctly. And it can be really, really, really robust. Okay? Look at my cost of goods sold. I have the cost of goods sold of the produce itself. Look at my other handling costs, how descriptive they are. I don't have everything thrown in at just one cost of goods sold. No, I want to be able to see margins from every other item that the cost of goods sold. Even sales returns and allowances, have a line item for that. Even for purchase discounts and allowances, have a line item for that. Don't hide it in cost of goods sold. To make sure if you're giving credits to a customer or you're getting the credit, it is right there on your financial statements. You don't have to go look for it. Okay. Again, this is the gross profit section right here. So I'm just going to write this. If you look at the balance sheet, we looked at it before. You know, you have your assets, right? What you have, you know, this is liabilities, what you owe, right? Equals, you know, your net worth, right? That's your balance sheet. The other side is the income statement, nuts and bolts. You have sales, you have cost of goods sold, and then you add it to the gross profit, right? Those together, marketing. And then you have admin expenses. I didn't put anything in there, just an introduction. And then after that, you have your net income, right? If you notice that net income comes over here to your equity, the current year. You saw that in the balance sheet, right? Make sure it's right. Look at my net income, 49,494.75. Well, there it is. Right? So it goes to your balance sheet. That's the meter. That's the meter. Your net worth's the meter. Tomorrow, hopefully, you'll be worth 50,000 because you made another thousand on the income statement the following day. Okay, so what we focus as cost accountants is this. I focus on the equity on my network, and I focus on the gross profit section. Those are the two most important areas to be in. It is all together. Why we wrote programs for in produce? Because we take this part out to external databases. How we produce. Right? And then I'm going to show you the system in a minute. That's all we do is just sales, the purchase of produce, and also the purchase of the handling costs, los insumos, because that's all that exists. That's all it takes for you to calculate to do it right, to settle with your growers or for your customers, so on and so forth. Just the gross profit section. Everything else, your rents, receivables, inventory. Well, inventory is here and also here too. Accounts payable, obviously, admin expenses too, payroll, rent, any admin expenses you do in QuickBooks, because it's just so easy to do it in QuickBooks. So what we do is we just write external databases so that we can integrate with QuickBooks so we can just work on the gross profit section. Lo vamos a enfocar en la utilidad. Y si hacen aquí, uno quiere vender más, es el problema de todo. ¿Okay? Pero que estén bien los financieros. Si mis cuentas por cobrar están mal, mi venta está mal. ¿Verdad? Si mis cuentas por pagar están mal, mi costo está mal. Si mi inventario está mal, mi costo está mal. Por eso el balance es el reporte que siempre tiene que estar actualizado al día. Okay? All the answers, all the correct answers should be in your business. Okay? Somebody wants to call for, hey man, how much do I owe you? Well, I'll tell you how much you owe me. You don't call your vendor, hey man, ¿qué te debo? O ¿qué me debes al proveedor, al cliente? No. All your answers should be correct in your company. And if you have current financials, you can have that. And I'll show you how to do that. It's not hard. Okay? This is accounting. This is not physics, not engineering. It's contabilidad. Okay? So there's a lot of good tools out there, but you got to set it up right the first time. Once you have that, we install a routine, teach you that, and keep it up. Maintain it. Santi's Produce. Dad, grower from Chocan. 2 daughters, son. Accountants? No. Can I teach them to be accountants? Of course I can. They don't need to go to Pan Am if they don't want to go 4 years in accounting. Really? For accounting, for dates and classifications, unless you want to be a CPA, no problem. To run a produce company, you can do it here with QuickBooks and other software. It doesn't take 4 years to do this. Okay? But you've got to set it up correctly. Okay? That's what we do. All right. So this is the QuickBooks side. Now we look at the database side. I'm sorry about my scribbling. I was born with bad handwriting, but oh well. Here's our app. It's called eProduce. The database app, blank, and we created based on customization. Okay. It's dashboards where you're able to see dashboards, you're able to see your work. These are the transactions. Okay. The bills for the products. These are the bills for the shipping and handling that you do for all your insumos. Okay. And this is the invoices. That's all you need. Just those 3, because we're working on gross profit. Remember? Okay. And I have other dashboards that I can easily see what's going on. I don't have to go in there with other menus and all that stuff. Have it on a dashboard. That's today's technology. You can have graphics of everything what's going on, your profitability. Why not? Here's the inventory, products available for shipping and inbound. I have 0 right now. If you notice right now I have zero because I have zero in inventory, right? It should be the same. Right should equal left. Okay. So here, I even built this for La Bonanza. They wanted to see the orders by day that they need to work on. Um, what's been filled, what has not been filled, how much has it been filled, and it's got different. I'll show you different colors of what's still pending, what's ready, what's been shipped already in green. So move on to the rest. So it's a good way to look at your orders to make sure that you attend to each one and nothing falls through the cracks. Okay. Here are those reports that I talked about, the Eclipse reports. Here's my gross profit by customer, by lot, by invoice, by product, by supplier, and by sales rep. So even if I didn't know this company, just by looking at these reports, I can say, well, HEB is my best. HEB is the number one customer that I have. They bring in 25,000 bucks worth of gross profit. You see how they're not the highest in margin, but they're the highest in dollar. I want contribution of gross profit. I don't really care about, in this case, margin is, que márgenes, quiero dólares, ¿verdad? Entonces ahí me doy cuenta que el HEB es el mejor y el de abajo que tengo. Ok, y si ven la utilidad, 49,000, el 12.3%. Vamos a probar esto. My profit and loss. Ahí está. The same thing in QuickBooks. Okay, so it's got to be the same. If it's not, then my database app is wrong or QuickBooks is wrong. Okay, so let's go back over here. I can tell by lot, by invoice. I kind of like to look at my product. What's my number one item? 48 is number one. I can even click here and go to full report. I can see it there. 48 is number one. La 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 la. I can filter it. Just give me that. That. All my avocados only. You know, all this new stuff out there, and all this stuff is done automatically. And all you have to do is buy, sell, and also put in the allocated cost for some of these items. And these reports will come up automatically. So, and it will ship it to QuickBooks, and your accounting is done automatically too. Okay? I'm going to show you that here in a minute, and I'm going to go back to the homepage here so you can see that. Well, I'm going to see my salesman. Who's my number one salesman, right? This guy here. Well, me, of course. Yeah, 28,000. So again, if we're able to do this and on the invoice you put what salesman it is, it's going to show up here. And all my profits have to be the same for all six. Let's make sure, right? Okay, here, 49,494, 12.3%. Same thing there. I mean, why should it not be? It's got to be right. That's how you measure. There it is. And this is at true cost from what I buy from the grower, the actual price, peso pactado or liquidated price. Okay, so all the reports are correct. All right, so let's do a transaction. All right, let's do something simple. Buy some avocados, put an allocated cost. We'll actually do a sales order first. I think a lot of people do sales orders first. You order product. And I'm not gonna do it by pallet ID because there's a lot of customers like Bonanza, they do by pallet ID, which is fine. But a lot of them like Santi's, you do by line item, right? One line item, so many cases, boom. We're gonna do allocated cost. We're gonna look at the profitability. We're gonna stick it to QuickBooks to make sure that everything is correct. Then you're gonna see how easy things are to do now. If there's an adjustment to do, I don't have to go back to Excel and change that and recalculate everything and go back to no. That's what the integration does for you. Okay, I've lived through those pains in life. I'm done with that. That's why I created this. Okay, but any other thing that you want to automate, we can do also. All right, so let's start off. Again, let's go to an invoice. Take it off the new style. You see all your customers that I have here. Everybody shipped. I have a great history of them. I can do all my custom reporting if I want in here. There's no Look at all the reports that you want right there. Don't be stuck with just a report that comes in the program. Create your own. You can. Um, you need up developing of some of the HTML stuff we do, some of the CSS, some of the JavaScript. We can do that too, but that just gets a little more complicated. All right, so I'm just going to create a new invoice, and let's sell to HB. All right. You notice some HB sometimes have different shipping areas. Walmart's have different shipping areas. That's why we have different destinations. You can add different destinations. They pick it up in Pharr, or you send it to San Antonio. When you do your bill of lading, that's where it affects it. Okay. Sales rep, me. The date, I'm just going to put today's date, 0413, 0413, 0413. Again, all these fields here can be customized. Take them off or leave them there, or add anything else you want. Describe them the way you want so you can easily understand them. Or whatever you're using now, duplicate that. Why not? If it works, put the same name on there. A big deal. Um, of course, of course. I'll show you. I'll show you in a minute. Of course, definitely. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna put the sales order number. I'm just gonna put, let's see, 777, and the same thing for this. Just for that price terms, I'll put FOB. Okay. Any notes that you want to put on there on QuickBooks itself, because it's going to sync to QuickBooks, or here for your templates like your bill of lading, manifest, and sales orders. You can do it here. And once you do here, and you just leave it active, it's ready to go. And I'm going to do, for example, 48 avocados, right? And here, by the case, I'm going to put 1,600 come per case per load. So I'm just going to, I tell I'm going to sell them at 28 bucks. It's a quote from my customer. Okay, save and close. Whoop, done there. Create sales order. You don't have to go to QuickBooks to do that. Do it right out of here. Again, these are all customizable for you. However you want to do it, any kind of stuff with PACA, 1,600 cases. You can even put weight on you want to do on there, whatever. Templates, we do the templates any way you want them. We can customize them. It takes me, I don't know, I promised you a week ago, we never got to it. But it takes an average of about 30 minutes to do a template. Okay, anytime. Okay, so obviously here, you see how this one, that's HTML, that's coding. To do this, HEB, San Antonio, I haven't filled anything yet. You see, I don't have a manifest, I don't have a bill of lading, and I don't have an invoice yet. Okay. The great thing about this, just like QuickBooks Online, right click, duplicate it, because it's a URL. That's all it is. Okay. We go back to the home page. And there it is. It comes out on today. That's the order that I need to fill out. Right? That's that's the new things that are out there. They're so simple to do. Okay. Just give me some ideas and we'll put it in place. I'm sure you guys have a lot of ideas. I mean, everybody has de ideas que quieran saber, me lo puedo poner así, o este color, o dame este monto, o así, lo hacemos porque sea. Con código se puede hacer todo. Okay. So I have that in the sales order. Okay. This is the invoice detail on the bottom. This is where I'm going to fill out the order with the actual product that I'm going to buy. Okay. And that's how it figures out the percentage filled. Right now I have nothing filled. Okay. So let's go buy that product. So again, those three. I already did an invoice for the sales order. Let's go do the bill product to buy the product. Take it off a new style so you can see who I bought from before. You can see all of this. You can see all the types of liquidations that I have for each one, the money I've made, the profitability, everything in one place. Just so unique to be able to do it like this. So I'm going to go to a new bill product. And here I'm just going to go the avocado grower, vendor reference number, 333. You can put lot number. Again, I can change it, right click, add field after this one. If I wanted to, I can leave it like that. Okay. custom field, text multiple choice type 1, 2, or 3. If I'm done there, it's because I didn't save it, no problem. I'm going to put avocado grower, 3. There's my custom field I just did. That easy. You know? So you can add any fields you want to be able to control or filter stuff. And it's all about it being so informative, easy to do it. I don't need to call support. Give me 3 weeks to add that field. No, right there and then. It took me, 10 seconds to do it. Okay, that's why it's so customizable. Okay, so let's go back over here. Order date. Today is what? 13/04/12, 04/13. This is already received. It's active. And then this is the header section. And I'm just going to go down what I received, right? If I don't have it by pallet number, I'm just going to put a line number on it. The product is going to be 48s. Label, you can do that here too. Location in the warehouse. Those are all customizable fields. 1,600 cases. And I'm going to receive it because when you bring it in from Mexico, viene a precio. Tiene que ver con el precio con fiscal. It's got to come with a price, obviously. So I'm going to put just 23 bucks on there to start off with here. That's it. I've already bought it. So now let's go back to the home page. Refresh that. And then you see here that I have 48 right here. Avocados from this vendor, vendor reference number, lot number, 1,600 cases on the floor, available to sell. That's how easy your inventory should be seen like that. Okay? I haven't sold it yet. I have this order pending. Okay? Before I sell it, I want to put an allocated cost. I want to put a freight in. Very typical, right? So let's do that. Here's the third part, bill, shipping, and handling. Let's go here. Bill, shipping, and handling. And also take this off. Good thing about this here is we can put stuff here, what's allocated, what's not allocated. Everything should be allocated, right? There should not be one bill, shipping, and handling cost that's not allocated. This is where it tells you that if it's been allocated or not. So it kind of checks up your work on your staff to make sure that everything's done correctly. It's going to it affects your gross profit. That's why we do it. Okay. So I'm going to put a new bill, shipping, and handling. And I'm going to put a freight vendor. Okay. Also 04/13. And this is 888. And it's it. And I go down here to here. This is going to be freight, not delivery. It's going to be inbound, right? It's the next one. This guy here. All right. And this one is going to be $2,000. Well, quantity 1 at $2,000. Once I save and close that, then I get a orange button here. Hey, you want to add it to a bill, or you want to add it to an invoice? When you add it to a bill, the whole amount goes to the bill, right? Freight does inbound. When you have freight delivery, you might have an invoice that have 4 different lots, right? And we want to be able just to put that portion of number of cases back to the lot of that invoice, to each individual lot. That's why it's important to know that you're going to allocate it to the bill, the product, or you're going to allocate it to the invoice where I have multiple lots that I'm selling. And it automatically goes to every single lot, just the proportion of cases that you're selling from that lot. That manual, doing that manually, is a nightmare. Here, we're able to do that. I mean, that's why we thought about this, to avoid all that. So here, all I do is just add it. What's that bill that I just did right now? Number 33388989. Is that what it was? No. Forgot the number here. 333, right? Is that what it was? I think it is, yeah. Here's where I do the invoice. If I wanted to allocate it to an invoice. Here I did it for a bill. The allocated amount is $2,000. And I'm going to have paid by the shipper. Okay, save and close. So now I have that, right? So when I go back to my bill product, the purchase of this avocado, everything comes back to the bill. Why? Because all my sales should be there, all my allocated costs should be there, so I can do the calculation of the liquidations. Those are the three items that I use, right? So now I have the purchase. Here are my invoices. I haven't sold anything yet. Look at my allocated cost. There it is. It brings it here to that bill. Liquidation. I haven't done my liquidation here yet. Okay. All I know is that I bought it for $36,000. Okay. Let's go sell it. Okay. So let's go back to that invoice. You can do it here or even here. Edit. All right. A couple of ways you can do it. You can select this product in here and go pick it, or you can put the product in here. It'll look for the lot number automatically. This is handy when you have a lot of pallets, pallet IDs. Instead of entering each one at a time, you can just pick the pallets. I'll show you how to do that real quick here. I'll show you. If I were to click right here on the 48s, it takes me to the products. This is what I have available for sale. Add to a ticket. Here, that module comes up. This is the one I have. Click it here. Add to, there's the product. There's the HB one. That's the only one that's active, not everybody. I have that. Continue. Okay. I go back to the invoice. This one. %, filled. There's my product from that lot. Okay. All I got to do is put a price on it, right? Here's my cost. Right? Here's my $23 plus $1.25 of freight. Right? It's taking you that in consideration before you sell it. Okay, make sure you know how much margin you're going to be making before you sell stuff. But we haven't done liquidation yet, right? If it's at a precio pactado, okay, you went fine, but at least we know we're going to be able to cover whatever the initial price that you got from the grower. That's how they measure you, by the way. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this guy right here. And then I'm going to go in here and put in the price. It's $28. I have other customers that want it automatically. Here, I don't have it here automatically, but whatever the sales order price, it'll put it here automatically for you too. That can be done, no problem. $28, right? Look at the margin, 13.39. Most produce are between 8 and I think the best I've seen is 20. 15 is right around where I've seen in most of the averages. Okay, so now that we have that, then we have it here shipped. Save and close. Go back to my home page. Inventory gone completely. Okay. Here's a great thing that I did so that your controller doesn't forget to do things to QuickBooks. We're not done yet. We still have to send it to QuickBooks, right? But I'm not going to double enter it again. I'm going to sync it over there. All right. So I go to the controller dashboard, and it's going to tell me, hey, you have an invoice that hasn't been synced. You have a bill product that hasn't been synced, and you have a shipping and handling that hasn't been synced yet. Okay. You can build calendars whenever all this stuff went out. I mean, again, it's by doing the reports, it's sky's the limit. However you want to do it, we can create it for you. We'll teach you how to do that too, not just create it for you. Okay, so let me look at here. I mean, I'm going to sync the bill first, and I can just sync it from right here, and make sure all my feeds are still open. All right. All good. All right, so let me sync this bill product. Syncing can be done individually, can be done midday or a batch of them, so on and so forth. You know, I have them done individually. At the end of the day, you can. You can. But they'll come out here on this list. Because once I, for example, that's done there. If I go there, It's not on my list anymore. So you can even check your people in your office to make sure that they're doing everything that needs to be done. It's really a task a dashboard. Okay, let's sync this guy, the bill shipping and handling too. And obviously we're gonna sync the. If you do things wrong, you forget an item, it'll tell you it won't sync it until you get it right. That's a good way to do it. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sync the invoice too. Again, only three things, guys. It's just the purchase of the product, los insumos, your allocated costs, shipping and handling, and your sales for gross profit. Okay, that's what we're working on. All right, so if we do that, I refresh this here. Whoa, okay, nothing there anymore. Okay, let's go back to the home page and look at my profitability reports. Well, let's go do the liquidation, by the way. I've done it before. Bill products. If I go to this avocado grower here, you see the purchase. It's in yellow. It means I sold it all. Look at my invoice. It brought my invoice down here, the HB one here. Here's my allocated cost, all in one place where the bill is, where it's supposed to be. Liquidations. Okay, I don't have a liquidation, so it didn't really do anything for me. All right. If I do edit and I do purchase price, wholesaler broker pays for that, then it does a calculation for you. 44,000 here, you made $6,000, 13.39. That's what we saw on the income statement on the invoice, right? This is what it synced over to synced with the QuickBooks. Okay. If I do this, percentage of sales, 10%. Grower shipper pays for it. Well, you see how my I'm going to make 10%. I can only make 10%, right? $4,400. But see how I'm going to give the grower 95 cents more per case because I'm only going to make 10%. When I save that, look at my cost over here now. $23 plus 95 cents. I got to give him $23.95. Automatically calculates for you. Hey, no problem. I'm not going to change my invoice. I'm just going to resync my bill because I synced to the QuickBooks at $23. I got to resync it at $23.95. But you don't have to re-enter everything again. Just resync it. Okay. So here, all I do, let's go edit.
So is that kind of like when you pay like the buyer, and you pay a certain price for the fruit, and you get more commission on top of that? Would that be something like that? Like you're paying the buyer a commission, but you're paying for the fruit. You know what I mean? So
Well, sometimes what it is, I mean, real clear is when you buy it on consignment, okay? But he bills you a certain amount, right? And then based on the liquidation, if you do well, then you're going to give him more. You know, I'm just going to keep 10%, but you pay for the cost, okay? But you're only going to keep 10%. So how you perform is how much more you're going to give him or much less you're going to give him based on the liquidation. Quería saber de la compra, ¿no? Si cómo se ajusta el precio. Para arriba o para abajo. Depende cómo lo vendiste. ¿Lo vendiste bien o no te fue muy bien? ¿Verdad? Se ajusta el precio original. Okay, so let's go back to your situation. So you're the grower?
well, not really.
You're the buyers.
We're the buyers, but somebody else is in Mexico buying for us.
Okay.
We're there. So we pay him a commission because he's out there.
Right, based on your performance, based on how you sell it, right? And what the costs are. Or you just give them a flat rate. Hey, man, I'm going to give you, go out there and work it.
We'll give you a penny per the pound or whatever.
That's a shipping and handling cost. That's the shipping. You're going to have to put that in. Es lo que dice es el costo de una persona allá que ya copió, ¿no? Consigue la fruta. Ese costo, si le vas a liquidar al productor, pon ese costo aparte de la liquidación, ¿verdad? La comisión. Porque tú te vas a quedar con el 10% después de comisión y todo. A mí libres yo creo 10%.
We could even put that guy as a salesman, right? Because he works for our company.
Exactly, put him as a salesman too. Exactly. And then that's how we're going to do the invoice itself. Exactly. Okay. So it goes there. ¿Todo bien? Voy a quitar este. Save and close. Go back and sync it again. Again, everything comes back to the bill itself. Ahí es un trato, la venta, los insumos y obvio la compra inicial. Okay. Okay. So I've got to look at this, for example, la liquidación. Yo tengo que, me vale 10%, 4,400, que es este. ¿Verdad? Si yo vengo, y aquí mismo yo puedo ir a la factura de un QuickBooks. Se abre la compra, ¿no? Ahí está, 38,3,200. Se entrega 8,3,200. Okay, so that's syncing right there. I just synced it back to QuickBooks without doing anything else. Except hitting the sync button. I have to go back to QuickBooks to reentry. Okay, so let's go look at the profit and loss to make sure that that's correct. And I'm just going to do today, right? I'm just going to do today. Here. Today. Refresh. 10%. Exactly what I have here. That's the beauty of this. That's the beauty of all the new technologies out there on the internet. Avoid double entry. And all we had to do was come over here, home, process these three things right here. The purchase of the product, los insumos, y la venta. Y solo te da todo así. Let's check out my profitability. Okay, my profit reports. This is completely shipped and filled. The invoice is right. I didn't do the manifest, but I can. Go in there real quick. Vamos a este. Y este nada más. Manifest. De aquí mismo. Te lo da. Es el manifest casi cuando por pallet, con pallet ID. Te lo da luego, ¿verdad? Igual podemos ver el bill ship, el bill lading. Or some people have sales order confirmation. Other name for it, confirmation. I don't know. All that stuff. We can name it differently. Okay.
And so you can have several users on it at one time.
Of course.
So like you have like our accounting lady.
Yep. Yep. Like what I did for Santis. Santis, their whole family is just one. QuickBooks Desktop, it's only one user at a time. Not these programs, okay? If you have 10 users, son 10 usuarios, y nomás son 3 diferentes departamentos, pues dale nomás 3, no pagues por 10. Es lo bueno de QuickBooks también igual, pues puedes entrar con el QuickBooks Online, web multi, 2 or 3 with the same user ID. You save a lot of money that way.
So that one person does the same with the bill.
And they won't be able to see anything else, no bank, no nothing, it's just that. Exactly. You want him to make sure, of course, you can sync it, or you can send it to another person where they have the dashboard one, so they can sync it correctly. Right. Los permisos que tiene este programa es otro. Aquí mismo los usuarios que dan, participants, distribution, ordering, and then you can put any restrictions you want on it. You need that. QuickBooks does the same thing. Okay. So going back to my homepage, we proved that the profit was right. And same thing here. See how it's green now? That's done. And that's how you move it. I mean, it looks only one, but when you have La Bonanza that's doing, 15, 16 loads a day, then you need something visual like that. Okay. So yeah, that's today's produce accounting in a nutshell. Something simple. Sencillo, en la nube. Se quedan con QuickBooks, no tienen que hacer QuickBooks tampoco, pero que sea QuickBooks más robusto. Solo no pueden. No way. Unless you just want regular accounting. Acuérdate que lo de QuickBooks aquí esto es global. Si yo lo veo con todos, all dates, esto me lo da global. Este me lo da en detalle, así. Es lo que queremos. That's why we get these programs, so we can measure everything correctly. And my profit should be the same, 12.07, 12.07, same thing. Yeah. And I didn't even do it, I didn't do anything to redo those reports. Automatically get it. That's the beauty of today's software. Okay? Get that. I'm sorry? Of course you can. Yeah, for example, these profitabilities ones here, if I go here before report, here I can do more, save a spreadsheet, but right there, it's on this size, that's right there. But, I mean, I'd rather print like that, and it's like that. It's looking for my printer. Didn't like it. I don't have a printer. Where's the IT people when you need them? I can't close that. That's right. I know what's going on here. Didn't like the printing it right now. So, okay. That's fine. Huh. Refresh. There it is. Okay. Yeah, so you can print these here too. Any way you want them. Do the report summaries and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the new thing here is to be able to take advantage of all the new stuff that's out there inexpensively and custom made. Got a new person back there. But yeah, if you have any questions or any of your type of transactions, I'll be glad to answer any questions. But make sure that you keep current financials. That's what financial analysts are for. They help you with that. And when you're able to talk to bankers, when you're able to talk to financial consultants, insurance folks, when you sell your company, make sure what your net worth is. Don't undersell it, right? Don't wait for audited financials. You should have audited financials yourself. Right? You need those to run your company. Don't think, oh, I'm getting an audit. Let's get our books straight. No, your books should be straight already if you follow this routine. And it's not hard. Again, I'm not a CPA. I mean, I care about taxes, but all I have to do with a CPA, balance sheet, income statement, age receivables, age payables, inventory, fixed asset list, so you can do depreciation. Done. If I have them current, look, buddy, don't charge me any more money for financial statements. Just do my tax return. I have everything current. Imagine the money you save just by doing that. Okay, so you run your company as if it were for sale, but you run your company to maximize profits. A lot of companies that don't have current financials, and correct me if I'm wrong, high sales hides bad management. Okay, they're not maximizing their profits. When you sell a lot, you're supposed to make a lot. When you sell very little, you lose very little. Okay, but a lot of them like this. They sell a lot and they don't maximize their profits because they don't have these kind of controls. Howard Butt, HEB, his famous quote was, "We are what we measure." Of course, if you don't measure, you can't improve, right? If you improve, then the end game is to make more money, right? That's why we're in business, to make more money. But these are the tools that are available in today. Again, this is just an introduction, guys. We went a little deep in produce accounting, something you guys you're already aware of, but with the new stuff that's out there, Santi's they're fixing to go live here in about a week. And again, it's like a 3-week implementation for this because it's so easy to do. Try getting famous, you're there for 3 or 4 months, But because if you know QuickBooks already, it's just so simple to use. Any questions? Okay, did everybody understand? Hi, hola, ¿cómo le va? ¿En inglés o español? Ok, en español. ¿Sí? Jorge, ¿verdad? Sí, ok, pero apenas cabe entrar. Ok, sí, este es un sistema de contabilidad para la industria de productos. Ok, usamos el programa de QuickBooks en línea para ver financieros. obvio, y este mismo programa para ver la compra y la venta de los productos y los insumos, ¿verdad? Y I think this just got dead here. Con integración, todo lo nuevo que están en la nube ahorita, ¿no? eProduce, eProduce, sí. eProduce.com. Yo soy el programador y yo también soy contador. Estamos aquí en Pharr, por la Jackson, pero lo vamos a mover aquí a un edificio nuevo. What's the name of the building? Yeah, it's right across Junior Supermarket. Bigger, better. We work together with the Pharr Bridge. The Pharr Bridge, that's why Fred came up with this idea. Hey man, why don't we, teach the guys here, teach the locals, ones that are surrounding areas, Pharr, McAllen, Mission, whatever. And why not? Why not? It's a good thing. It can't hurt you, And if you're going to be in Pharr, we prefer for you guys to be in Pharr. But if you're in McAllen, no problem. But eventually, we want you in Pharr. And there's a lot of new great things going on here with Pharr. You got the Pharr Bridge. Okay, I'm putting my office 3 miles from there. So anything new, we can just come by the office. We can set you up. Muchos clientes que tengo son productores de México. Quieren venir aquí a poner una comercializadora. ¿Cómo le haces? La estructura. ¿Qué tipo es? Si no son número social, pues tiene que ser un C Corp, LLC. Right? Eso lo hacemos, conseguimos contadores públicos para que lo hagan. Te ponemos la estructura de los financieros, para que siempre tengan financieros al día. Capacitamos a tus gentes, o si no, también tenemos contadores en Uruapan, aquí en McAllen y San Antonio. Pero hacemos todo por la nube. Tenemos clientes en Nueva York, California, Florida. Tenemos más grandes congelato que traen naranjas de Colombia. Otra cliente que trae naranjas de Morroco. Entonces, es contabilidad de productos, la misma cosa, importa. Nada más que ellos tienen un poquito más caros, nada más. Pero esos son los sistemas que tenemos y están aquí ahorita y no son caros. No son caros. Me gustaría, si quieren poner un demo, les puedo hacer un demo en línea o puedo ir a la oficina de ustedes o pueden venir a la oficina de nosotros, como gusten. Urapan, si hay una persona allá, tengo gente allá también que puede hacer un demo, para que lo vean en persona. Guadalajara es un poquito más lejos que Urapan, ¿no? Que 2 horas por ahí. Pero eso es 1 hora y media, perfecto. Si no tienen otras preguntas, me gustaría. I think we have a summit also next week, right? And I'm going to be doing almost the same thing, but without the produce. Okay, I think it's important. I think that would maybe fit. Fred, something like this. Maybe not that long, 10, 15 minute spiel on what we do, but the importance of financial statements, obviously. And, but yeah. No, I saw everybody interested. I mean, I didn't see any heads like that because this is important. I think it's something that might be open your eyes, but a different way of doing things. But at the end of the day, man, is having current financials. You want to have current financials. Mm-hmm. ¿Cómo lo viste? ¿Cómo lo vieron? O sea, lo sencillo que es. Y parte de la liquidación es lo que se tarda más. La liquidación que se tarda más. Ah, para el sistema. Sí. El QuickBooks, el QuickBooks lo tienen ustedes. QuickBooks pagan $80 por mes por 5 usuarios, ¿no? El mío es $150 por usuario, mínimo 2 usuarios, pero no creo que se lleven más que 2 usuarios. Ah, sí tengo un costo inicial de lo sencillo, como a ustedes les cobré $2,000 para implementación, lo que me tardo para hacer la integración. Si es una operación porque es más complicada, hasta 5,000, pero de veras que $2,000 en 3 semanas tenemos implementando ahorita, ya lo están implementando. Sí. Ya tengo aquí, yo era el arquitecto de Web Market. Me salí con ellos en octubre. Yo les diseñé el liquidation. Oh, no lo vimos. Let me see here. Is this thing working? Yeah. All right, here. If I go to my build products, okay, so this is not working here. That's the problem. To show you the liquidation report, how we do it. Pretty cool. For some reason, it didn't like it. It's got out. So yeah, I was Grub Markets. I wrote their liquidation module. I did their repacking module, and I was starting to do their accounting module within Skull Wholesale, but I couldn't sell it. I couldn't modify it. Okay? I had to wait 4 or 5 weeks, turn workarounds and all that stuff. Great folks, great people, anything else, but I saw I could do much more and a lot cheaper, and here locally with Pharr, with this big port of entry, and it's something that people need, and I like it because it's so simple to understand, easy to implement, and the idea is to get you current financials. I mean, I give back too. I've learned a lot. I'm not going to leave with all this knowledge. I'm going to pass it down. Believe me, I take a lot of pride, especially with you guys that are younger. Hell, all day long. Let's see right here. Just one more thing, guys, and then I'm sure you guys want to leave. Look at these graphs here that we can do. I mean, full report here. Again, all this stuff is my profitability weekly. I can do it monthly. Look at my sales. You see the sales table right here? Your cost of goods sold should be the same line right underneath. And my net income, my gross profit should be the same, but way underneath. If it's floppy like that, then you got all kinds of issues. You're not paying attention to your profitability. That's what you want right there. Here's one that I sold that I lost money, right? I made only $792, right? So those things that you can look at. Let's go back over here to that particular build product we just did for the avocado. Look at my liquidation part. Here's another template that I designed for the growers. You want transparency with the growers. There it is. Lot number, la 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 la. Here's a summary. Here's all the pack outs that I did. Here's the sales. Here's the allocated costs, all in one place. That's transparency. That's what people want to see. You get that relationship with growers, they're gonna let you have more product. These guys are making me money. Heck yeah, all day long. And that's the idea. Also, we also help you with other customers that I have, customers that I do their accounting, that I can recommend, that are solvent, right? I know some growers too that we do work for them too, that can help you guys over there too. So we do some marketing work, but mostly it's accounting, finance. So, y todos estos templates se pueden modificar como los quieran. Campos, cualquier campo, te lo puedo poner y no se tarda nada. Okay, so anyways, that's the class for today. You got any questions? You can ask Renee or Eloy back there for you got anything to say?
Want to pass the mic, just have everybody introduce what industry you're in?
I don't think it probably take too long to do that. I think the board won't go with me. But I think you want to have something to say about if they want to do a demo. If you book a demo, we can do that. I can go to your office. You can come to ours. We have some caps back there from the produce and some other stuff that you guys can take. But if you got any more questions, you can ask me directly. Okay? Okay, perfect. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Herman. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We'd like to take some pictures outside with our backdrop. We have our photographer here. We'd like to grow our social media, so if you could please add us, we'll take pictures outside. We appreciate it. We have some gifts for you also. Once again, thanks to Bridge Connect, thanks to Freddie and all the staff. If we haven't met you, my name is Rene Cantu. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing. Let's book your demo today. Let's keep your earnings going. Thank you.
Yeah, he does marketing, I do the real stuff. All these for the money, right? That's what we take care of. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. If you got any questions? Where do I know you from? Oh, you're Larry's son. That's why you look familiar. The only one that came, one of my friends. Where's your dad?